Why did Jesus say, "You shall know them by their fruits"? Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs from thistles? Matthew 7:16-20.
Without doing the whole Sermon on the Mount, I think it's pretty evident that he's talking about false prophets. That's the specific context of that. Who's going on? The fruit of a prophet is their doctrine, not their moral behavior. I think this is well within the context of the larger Sermon on the Mount. Most people, I don't think, don't have it. Most people think the Sermon on the Mount like bounces. It doesn't. It's making a consistent argument about what true righteousness looks like, and so we're at the end of that. So his point is, how do you know a false prophet? Well, you know it by their gospel. Their gospel is the Pharisaic gospel of works, which is why you have in 20, Lord, Lord, didn't we do all these good works? No, you didn't. You're the Pharisaical righteousness. So the point is, you don't look at their good works and their behavior and, oh, these are good moral people who gave alms. It's what are they teaching, which is consistent exactly, by the way, with the old Deuteronomy passages about how you know a false prophet as well.
Thank you, Chris. Charles, you might have a different take on this one, or maybe a similar take. Go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be great to debate the Sermon on the Mount. My view, I don't think the righteous that sees the righteous Pharisees is imputed righteousness. It refers to righteousness in your assignment or your walk. This particular passage, I agree with Chris that it mentions false prophets. The passage never says they're not saved. In light of the passage about entering the narrow way and other things like that, I take that to refer to discipleship. And then far as Matthew 7:19, this is a gnomic general proverbial statement. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. The thing to understand about this is in James chapter 3, it says, do blessing and cursing come from the same source? These things ought not to be. So here's the issue. When you're making a comparison between trees do certain things. Now, I can make an exception about you could graft things that are nematode resistant and other things like that, but I'm not going to go there. But as a general proverbial statement, we got a distinction between trees and their fruit, right? Or water and that. But James says it ought not to be so, which means technically it is possible for a believer to act against their own nature. So it isn't an argument for all believers will bear fruit.